hope you could see the screen. And yeah, I will talk about the Chinese poetry a little bit. And but before we start, I would like to explain a bit about the because to show the difference of the pronunciation and also rhyme. I marked the poems with some like symbols. So I would like to explain the symbols first. And the first one, actually, there's the first one is about the pronunciation of Chinese characters. And the basic principle is for let's say for each vowel would be 4 tunes. Like for example, for the vowel O, there will be 4 tunes like O. It's but maybe it's kind of sounds complicated for you, but no worries, because we actually, to simplify that, we call this the first 3 tunes called pinyin, and the last O we would call it zeyin, which is to maybe for you to get a better understanding of it. There is a correspondence with long vowel and short vowel in English, so you could understand this pronunciation of pin or ze. Like for example, for the pinyin is like long vowel like sky, floor, and the zeyin will kind of correspond to the short vowel like laptop. Yeah, and this is the first one. And then with the rhyme, I will mark pin with this mark and mark the ze, the short vowel, with this mark, so that afterwards when I read the poems, you could even though maybe you could maybe you could not exactly get what it is, long vowel or short vowel, but I marked like this, maybe just to make it kind of clear. And for the rhyme, with this mark, it means there's a rhyme, and with this mark, it means there is not a rhyme, and with this mark, which means it's just both okay if it's a rhyme or not. It depends. Yeah. So that's about the symbols, and actually it is kind of common agreed. There are 3 main types of Chinese poetry. We call it like shi from Tang Dynasty, and zi from Song Dynasty, and qu from Yuan Dynasty. So you could get that it's evolution through the timeline from Tang Dynasty to Yuan Dynasty, which is around 600 to 1200 years, not years, AD. So yeah, and also one of the main cause of this evolution is because of people who because that in ancient China, the poems is not only used for writing, but also used to be singing, for singing. And because one of the important entertainment activity is about singing poems out. So actually to meet the requirements for singing out easier, the evolution of the formats, it makes the evolution of the formats from Tang Shi to Yuan Qu. Yeah, this is I would like to explain it in like this, maybe a simple way, but there will be more complex and more complicated types of formats and more complicated reasons of the evolution behind it, but it's a chief, let's say it's a chief course, or there are the chief types. So let's start with the poems. Okay, and so we will start from the simple one, which is called 静夜思. I think I will read it first, and I would like to, maybe the first time I read it in a let's say fast speed, then you can get the rhyme, the beats of the poem. But no worries, I will read to this maybe slower the second time, then you could get the better understanding of it. So the first one is 静夜思, and also here's a translation if you like to have the meaning of this poem. So here's a meaning. So first one is about this. The title is 静夜思, author is Li Bai. Poem is 床前明月光，疑是地上霜。举头望明月，低头思故乡。So can you get the rhyme and rhythm? It's a simple, let's say simplest poem which we study in the second or third grade in primary school, and it's talking about like the author is far away from home in a mid-autumn festival. The festival is kind of correspondent to the Halloween, let's say it's kind of festival, or the traditional festival for family to get gathering together to have like party activity together. And yeah, but he was not there with the family. He was far away from home. So he wrote this poem to show like he was kind of homesick. Yeah, so this is good translation because it's translated both similar in meaning and also similar in format. So the first, so it's like moonlight fall near bed, as if frost their spirit, live together, find bright moon, miss old home haunted. So it's exact. I think it's a good translation. It's a good exact translation in both in meaning and format. I read this second time, then you can get you could try to like get the ping and ze in Chinese pronunciation. Although I already marked here, but you can have a feeling of how the beats of the poem is organized. 静夜思，李白。床前明月光，疑是地上霜。举头望明月，低头思故乡。Right? Can you kind of, yeah. Okay. So the rhyme for this poetry is AABA, so AABA, and it has 4 sentences for sure, and there's 5. You can understand this. There are 5 syllables in each sentence. Okay, this is the simplest one, and let's go to a little bit slightly complex one, which is also in 4 sentences, but there are 7 syllables in each sentence. And for this one, I would like to have, let's say, a game. So while I'm reading this poem, could you please have a guess of what type of the scenario this poem was describing? Is it about farewell, or about love, or about frontier war, or about homesick? Yeah, because obviously you will, but the girl would definitely know what it is describing. So just for you others to have a guess of it, just yeah, and no matter for sure you will not understand the meaning, but with the beats, with the pronunciation, and with the tune, let's see if you can have the guess the meaning of it. Guess of like what it's talking about. Okay, then let's go. The title is 出塞, author is Wang Changlin. 秦时明月汉时关，万里长征人未还。但使龙城飞将在，不教胡马度阴山。I read it second time, so you can have one more chance to get what it's talking about. Yeah. So, 出塞，王昌龄。秦时明月汉时关，万里长征人未还。但使龙城飞将在，不教胡马度阴山。Have a go, have a guess of what it's talking about.
Is it love or
Sorry?
Is it about love?
Love. Any other ideas?
I would say war.
Frontier war.
I was going for farewell.
Farewell. That's interesting. And any other ideas? No.
I tried on Google Translate to.
No, I will show the translation later. So no hurry about.
Something about city or dragon. I don't know.
Something about. Okay, just it. Let's have a look at the translation. So I think one of you have a correct answer. It's about frontier war. Congratulations. And yeah, with I think it's maybe for this kind of a bit difficult to have a guess of what it, because for example, I think you can have the feeling of that the pronunciation or the tune is kind of determined, right? Can you feel like it's kind of determined to doing something? Like for example, these two sentences, 但使龙城飞将在，不教胡马度阴山. It's kind of determined. Yeah. So it's it's about frontier war, which shows like yeah, Helen, could you please help me read this
Yes,
translation?
sure.
Thanks.
The moon still shines on mountain passes as of yore. How many guardsmen of great wall come back no more? If the flying general were still there in command, no hostile steeds would have dared to invade our land.
Yeah, so it's it's about frontier war, and it's kind of the author is you could have, so he actually and I think sorry, I cannot see your name on the how but yeah, one of you have the translation through Google. Yeah, you have like, yeah, it is describing kind of city, because actually for the first two sentences, not talking about anything about war. It's talking about, let's say, natural sceneries of what the author saw at that time. And it's about, for example, it's about moon, or it's about the Great Wall, about things like this. And then the last two sentences about how he like express his mood, expressing what he's thinking about. He won't let any hostile steeds dare to invade their land, something. It's so the first two sentences, let's say, is kind of indirect expression, and these two sentences kind of directed expression of what he was thinking about. Yeah, for the rhyme here, it's actually, so it's kind of A, B, but there is a little difference, because the first one could be A, and could not be A. So it just depends. Okay, let's move to another demonstration with 4 sentences and also 7 syllables. It's in the same format, but it's completely describing another thing. You could also have a guess, yeah, when I read, but the answer is for sure it's not about frontier wall, so you have like higher chance to hit the answer. Yeah, okay, it's about 芙蓉楼送辛渐，王昌龄。寒雨连江夜入吴，平明送客楚山孤。洛阳亲友如相问，一片冰心在玉壶。Okay, second time, second time, okay. 芙蓉楼送辛渐，王昌龄。寒雨连江夜入吴，平明送客楚山孤。洛阳亲友如相问，一片冰心在玉壶。Any ideas?
This is soft. It's smooth. It's not bold like the previous one, like war. So it could be love or grace or something positive. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it's actually yeah, you could have, it's more soft. It could be about love. It could be also about like friendship. Let's say farewell with friends. Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's like a farewell. It's about farewell. The author was saying goodbye to one of his best friends, and let's see the translation. So he kind of described the rain over the night first, and then he describes about like the mountain, and then will be 2 sentences he would like to say to his friend. Okay, yeah, and here about the format, I would like to mention for sure it's 4 sentences with 7 syllables each, and actually for 7 syllables in Chinese poetry, you can understand it's divided into 2, 2, 3. So it's 寒雨连江夜入吴. The syllables divided into 2, 2, 3, and also for example, for let's say for example, for this translation, for 5 syllables, it's kind of divided into 2 and 3. 2 and 3. So it's this translation is like moonlight fall near bed. It's also 2 and 3 as well. And as if frost there spread, right? And lift gaze find bright moon. So you could like kind of let's say concept of how it is divided, the 7 syllables in 2, 2, 3 or 2, 3. Yeah. I think for here I found actually good examples of English poems which are written in the similar format as we mentioned before. And so the first one is about 5 syllables with 4 sentences, and then we have 7 syllables with 4 sentences. And you could have like, it's also divided into 2 and 3 and 2, 2, 3. And also like rhymes, and also the beats. So I think I would ask for help from Helen to read this out. And thanks.
Cold wind short branch blows, brisk gust dense limb flows. Warm drops wide eyes mist, New storm sweeps dust slow.
Thank you. And can you also read this one?
Moss hair clouds roam, soft breeze blows. White blooms, fog stirs, clear stream flows. Hang head, dirt prints, am I here? Raise head, star specks, no one knows.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hope this helps. Yeah, hope these demonstrations or examples of English poems written in similar formatting with Chinese helps you get like better understanding of the rhyme, of the division, and also of the beats. Of like, let's say long vowel, short vowel, the combination of them. Yeah. Okay, I think for example, in a similar formats, let's say in a similar, we have 7 syllables in each sentence. We have the rule or the format of rhyme, and also we have the beats of the combination of the long vowel and short vowel. Actually, the poetry could be made into more complicated by just adding more sentences. For example, we have 4 sentences for each before, and now you can add like, could be 8 sentences or could be 12 sentences to have longer poem, like to express more about the mood or anything. So I will just read this kind of more complicated one just with more sentence. And here is a translation here to help you get the meaning of it. So it's about autumn. It's a poem about autumn. Yeah. Title is 秋兴八首. Sorry, I'll explain this. It's about, it's a series, let's say it's a series poem about autumn. So will be 8 episodes of this series. And this is one of the 8. Yeah. So, title is 秋兴八首. The author is 杜甫. 玉露凋伤枫树林，巫山巫峡气萧森。江间波浪兼天涌，塞上风云接地阴。从菊两开他日泪，孤山一系故园心。寒衣处处催刀尺，白木成高极目真。It's a little bit sad. Yeah. I read this second time, just in case if like maybe you have not that much time to go through the meanings and also, yeah. So, 秋兴八首，杜甫。玉露凋伤枫树林，巫山巫峡气萧森。江间波浪兼天涌，塞上风云接地阴。从菊两开他日泪，孤山一系故园心。寒衣处处催刀尺，白帝城高极目真。Yeah, it's sad. And here, for the rhyme, actually here's a let's say variation of rhyme. Here, the rhyme of the pronunciation is not strictly the same. It's kind of similar. Wow, let's say it's 林森阴心真. So it's not exactly the same like here it's 无辜湖. So it's the same rhyme, right? But here it's which means you could also get have the variation of the rhymes according to the pronunciation. It's 林森阴心真. So it's not the same, but similar with the pronunciation. Yeah, I think we should go for 词 now. 词 is kind of more more complicated format, which is formatted with long and short sentences. And as I mentioned before, the evolution of 词 is actually to meet the requirements to sing poems out. So actually, for example, I have an example here. For 诗 it's a very strict format with the same syllables in each sentence. So it's not that easy for singing. It's not that easy to meet the, let's say, to meet the beats or to meet the music, or to meet the music played with instruments. So at first, people just like to just based on the poem, people just like to make a variation or to make the repetition of some of the characters, some of the words like this, to repeat it into short and long sentences to make it easier for singing. I'll read this so you can get the kind of understanding of how these long and short sentences have more, let's say, more easier to sing out, because yeah. So the original one of the original poem is like 渭城朝雨浥轻尘，客舍青青柳色新。劝君更尽一杯酒，西出阳关无故人。So, and actually with this variation, it could be reading like this. 渭城朝雨浥轻尘，客舍青青柳色新。劝君更尽一杯酒，西出阳关无故人。Right, so it's more like more, let's say, obvious in beats and in, let's say, rhythms of. So it's kind of, and that's why 词, let's go to 词 from dynasty. That's why the main format of 词 is actually combined with long and short sentences. So you can see here there's 7 syllables in one sentence, and here it will be 4 syllables in one sentence and then 5 syllables in one sentence. So it's also called long and short sentences, just to make like more flexible format for singing. So I will read this as well. 蝶恋花，晏殊。昨夜西风凋碧树，独上高楼，望尽天涯路。欲寄彩笺兼尺素，山长水阔知何处。Yeah, so these 3 sentences is also about describing natural sceneries, and these 2 sentences about express the author what he want to do or what he was thinking about. Yeah, I think it's actually beautiful with long. I think for me, 词 is kind of more beautiful than 诗 because there's beats, there's rhythms, there's variations and like changes of let's say with the long and short vowels. It's more. So I would like to read this again. Then you can, yeah. 蝶恋花，晏殊。昨夜西风凋碧树，独上高楼，望尽天涯路。欲寄彩笺兼尺素，山长水阔知何处。Okay, so it's 词, sorry, it's 词. And I would like to introduce you this 词. For sure, it's not this 词 compared with this one. This one is in a more complicated formats because actually for 词 there's so many 词 and so many formats of 词in the history, and this is one of the this just one of it, and also it's one of my favorites. So I will read this out. And I would like you to also have a guess what it's talking about. So let's go. 江城子 This is a title. 江城子乙卯正月20日祭梦. This means it's about a record, or yeah, it's about a record of night dreams. What is dreaming about? Okay. 苏轼 10年生死两茫茫，不思量，自难忘。千里孤坟，无处话凄凉。纵使相逢应不识，尘满面，鬓如霜。夜来幽梦忽还乡，小轩窗，正梳妆。相顾无言，唯有泪千行。料得年年断肠处，明月夜，短松冈。It's obviously sad. I read this again, so 江城子乙卯正月20日夜寄梦，苏轼。10年生死两茫茫，不思量，自难忘。千里孤坟，无处话凄凉。纵使相逢应不识，尘满面，鬓如霜。夜来幽梦忽还乡，小轩窗，正梳妆。相顾无言，唯有泪千行。料得年年断肠处，明月夜，短松冈。Is it about love, or morning poem, or frontier war, or self-portrait?
I would say it's a morning poem.
Any other ideas?
I would also say the
Sorry?
same. I would also say the same morning
Morning poem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also between morning poem and self-portrait.
Other ideas? It's obviously very, very sad, right? And yeah, but you're right. Actually, it's about morning poem. Exactly, it's about morning poem. And yeah, I would say like he was dreaming of about his wife. Actually, he was in front of the tomb of his wife, and he got kind of fantasy of like his wife was still making up in front of the mirror in their room, things like this. But then he was suddenly like being caught back to the reality that he was in front of the tomb, but not in the room with his wife. Yeah, so it's sad, but it's sad, and also in the like, let's say in the writing, it's super beautiful because actually for let's say, for these Chinese characters, he was not like express his sad or express his expression in a direct way. He just like use, for example, use his fantasies about the scenery, his scenarios about like mirror or Rome, or describing about like, let's say, face, let's say hair, to get to just express this kind of super sad mood in a like indirect way. Yeah, so I would like, Helen, could you like to read this translation? And because it's, yeah, thanks.
A record of a dream on the night of the 20th of January in the year of Yimao. 10 years of separation by the immeasurable distance between life and death is not something I'd like to think about, yet unforgettable it is already. 1,000 miles away is your lonely grave. I've nowhere to sit and my grief express. Even if we could meet, we probably wouldn't each other recognize, for my face has aged and my sideburns grayed as I have life's hardships sustained. Last night, out of the blue, I dreamt of homecoming, and there you were, putting on makeup after combing your hair. Our eyes meet, yet reticent we remained, yet rolling down our cheeks, our tears forming far too many trails. Then I realized we are where I'd visit year after year when my heart aches. On a night with a bright moon on the hillock, among the pine saplings I'd stay.
Thank you, Helen. Yeah, so okay, this one will be the last demonstration. I will introduce you with 词, and for sure it's a long one and a complicated one in formats. I'll read it first. Then, as I mentioned, because 词 is kind of easier for singing out or for playing with instruments. So after I read this, I will show you a video of how it is being singing out. I will explain that later. I read it first. Okay, it's also a 词, a poem about Mid-Autumn Festival. So, 水调歌头中秋，明月几时有？把酒问青天。不知颠上宫阙，今夕是何年？我欲乘风归去，又恐琼楼玉宇，高处不胜寒。起舞弄清影，何似在人间？转朱阁，低绮户，照无眠。不应有恨，何事长向别时圆？人有悲欢离合，月有阴晴圆缺。此事古难全，但愿人长久，千里共婵娟。Yeah. Okay, so here's a video playing this. I think I will separate. Oh, no, okay. Just this is a like, let's say, a video about playing this playing this 词, but it's not completely in an ancient way, or let's say it's not completely in an ancient Chinese music way. It's actually it's combined with the ancient, let's say, kind of ancient music and also the Beijing opera way. So it's not at all modern music or anything. It's about kind of traditional, but not that ancient. Just yeah.
Can I just ask before you
Yeah.
start it? Is it possible to have the text showing while we listen?
Yeah, sure. So what I'm because I just shared the Chrome, so I'm not sure
yeah.
if it's good.
Let's see if it works. No worries
Now?
if it doesn't work, but let's see.
How about now? Can you?
Mhm, mhm.
Yes. So the left is text and the right is.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Can you hear the sound? that's it. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you so much. This is so interesting and really good to see to listen to the melody and also and watch the words and see how the mood is changing and how this is reflecting in the music. This is what really struck me. So thank you so much, Cai. This was great.
Yeah.
Really fascinating comparing to how things, in English that we've been discussing in previous weeks.